All right, let's take a look at your display screen, and the first thing I want to talk about is your timer and setting the time. The center dial is where your time is set. The top number represents the minutes, the bottom number represents the seconds. You change the time by hitting the plus or minus. Obviously, plus increases the time, this number above, in minutes, and decreases in minutes below. The recommended time is between 20 and 30 minutes of treatment. The lower number, it doesn't change as you change the timer, it's in seconds, but when you do start the time, the machine, you'll see the lower number counting down in seconds, and then obviously the minutes will be counting down relative to that. Now, the other three modes that we can work with are the intensity, which is this lower corner, and that's basically just 1 through 12, and intensity is just the power of the light. I would suggest using the highest intensity for your clients. If you find a client that is uncomfortable, which is very rare to find, or you're not going to come across a lot, then you can start changing it down. Probably someone who may have some skin sensitivity, you might want to start them a little bit lower at maybe 6 or 8, and then increase the intensity as you feel that they're comfortable with it. But for the most part, intensity, you can probably ramp it right up to 12. The pulse width, this top corner, pulse width is the, in technical terms, it's the width of the wavelength that's coming out. The higher that pulse width, the deeper the penetration of the light frequency. So it goes up from 1 to 9, and again, I don't know if most people are going to notice the difference. You may find that somebody with higher sensitivity to sensitive skin may experience a difference. This is where you can probably start using the pulse width to kind of think of it as a depth penetration. The higher the number, the deeper the penetration. So if someone has an inch of thickness of fat, put them at the highest pulse width. If you're working on someone's legs and it's a very thin layer of fat, you might want to try going half of that, maybe 4 or 5, because that's going to shorten that pulse width, which is not going to penetrate as deep. So it's more related to the thickness of fat you're targeting. You'll have to play with that and see where you can get the best results, but that's kind of what it's all about. Now, the last setting on here is the mode, and this mode is A, B, or C. And the difference is, and you control it by the plus or minus, so mode A, and I'll show you by turning the machine on. Mode A is a continuous beam of light, as you can see it happening right now. When I change it to mode B, it's a blinking light, pulsed, and it's every 5 milliseconds. When we go to mode C, it's actually every 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off, 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off. Now, this is probably where you're going to get more specific to people that have sensitivity to light, their skin. It may feel like although there's no heat really developed with this technology, they may feel like it's getting too warm, or for some reason they feel uncomfortable. Switching them from the continuous mode A, switch them to the B mode and see if that helps. If not, then we can go to the C mode, which is on and then off, on and then off. I would recommend starting everybody in the mode A and your highest intensity, and then depending on the depth, and again, more than an inch of fat, I would go right up to the highest bandwidth or light width, which is 9. And that was how you would set the machine for your clients.